This month I was supposed to come up with an intro for the podcast and failed, but I did record a lot of LP episodes, so let's talk about that instead. So this is mostly going to be a channel update because I've made a lot of changes. I've not made a lot of changes, but I've made a decent amount of changes that's required a lot of work from me. But anyway, it's also probably not going to be too long because I'm running really late as it is, because I wanted to talk about the 7.2 patch in 14, but I only finished that today. So it's now Wednesday night, and this has got to go up on Friday afternoon, and I'm out tomorrow night, so I've got very little time to work on it. So I'm going to try and keep it quick, although I've already just gone through describing all of this, and I'm already nearly a minute in. Also, I don't feel well, so I'm trying to be quick, but I'm rambling as it is. Before I talk about 14, the other thing I've been playing recently is a lot of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I've said it to a few people, but I think it's the best version of a thing I don't like. I've spoken a lot about how I don't like the new style Assassin's Creed games, and that's still true, but this is probably the best of them. At the very least, so far, it's the one I like the most, but a lot of the stuff that's getting in the way of me enjoying it is the new style stuff. I like the assassinations, I like sneaking around and assassinating people, I don't like the emphasis on combat, I don't like how big the world is. I would rather have one densely packed city than half of a country. Because they make it like half a country, you've got all this stuff and it's all spread out. And it simultaneously feels empty because you'll walk around and not see anything for a bit. But it also feels too dense in that you'll walk for 5 minutes and be in an entirely different city. And it makes the world feel simultaneously empty and tiny versus just having one city. If I had one city that was the same size, with the same amount of stuff in it, like Cyberpunk, that feels bigger than this entire game, even though it only takes place in one city. I am enjoying it mostly so far. There's stuff that annoys me, there's camps on the map, and you can kill everyone in them, and you can loot everything in it, but they never change, so it never looks like you've completed them, and I don't know why. And I've looked it up, and other people are confused by it as well. I think it's just because, when the season changes, they refresh, and you can do them again and get the rewards again, but it just doesn't feel very satisfying. There's loads of things to complete, but half of them just refreshing a bit anyway, so what's the point in ever completing them? I'm just about to go and start the second area, which basically just means doing everything I've already done again. I mean, it's not a bad thing, it's just, I'm for the most part enjoying it. All the bits of it I don't like are all the bits that are the new style stuff, and we're not really going to get away from that. So it's more just finding the bits of it I do enjoy. But it also doesn't help that the game's set in Japan, or rather, it does help, just because I like things that are set in Japan. I miss being there. But at the same time, Ghost of Tsushima is this exact thing but better, and we're also getting Ghost of Yotei this year, aren't we? It's either this year or next year. So I just feel I said it in my impressions video for it, but Shadows would have been good back when we all wanted it 15 years ago. But now, we already have better versions of the exact same concept. So for as much as I can enjoy it, I'm not really going to tell anyone to go out and buy it, because if you want almost this exact same feeling, you can get just a better version of it somewhere else, which is now years old, so cheaper. I don't know. It just feels pointless. I simultaneously feel like I'm being harsh on it and not harsh enough. I'm kind of worried that it means Ubisoft are just going to die, but at the same time, did they make anything I like anymore? So like I mentioned, the reason I left it so late to record this was because I wanted to finish the new patch before, so that I could talk about it here. I've not totally finished it yet, but the only thing I've got left to do in the content right now is the Corn Servant side quest, which I'm going to do tomorrow, and I don't feel like that's going to drastically impact what I would say. So, I don't really know, to be honest. I don't feel much towards it. I don't think it's bad. I enjoyed it while it was happening, but now it's finished, I don't feel much about it. But the issue is that I don't know how much that has to do with the game and how much that is more just to do with me, because I feel that way about most things. Unless something's really amazing, I tend to feel pretty nothing about it after I'm done. I'm interested to see what happens with Sphene now that we have the real Sphene around. I assume she's just going to become queen. Again, it would be kind of weird if she didn't, to be honest, and just followed us around. But at the same time, I feel like the story could go either way, because she talks about not feeling like she's needed, but I feel like the story is actually just going to teach her that the people do need her or whatever, or that she can have a place even if she's not the same person. I don't trust the tiara, because it's a regulator. I feel like she's going to put it on, and it just makes me feel really uncomfortable, because if you think about it from a real world standpoint, you don't just plug in a USB stick that's been left out, and especially not if it's been left out by someone you actively know hates you. That would just be a really bad idea, and especially so when this isn't a USB stick that just goes into your computer, it literally goes inside your own head. doesn't seem like a good idea. I feel like she's going to put it on and they're going to like play it off as like a triumphant moment. They're going to use it to symbolize accepting that she will be the queen again. But I just feel like it's a terrible idea. Like, I wouldn't trust that if that happened in real life. I also can't say I was expecting the bad guy to just be a twink. Like, okay, just an ill guy. It's kind of depressing that this guy he turned himself into an endless because he was dying, but then chose for his endless version to still be ill. Like, it's just kind of weird. The guy had no personality besides being a genius and dying. I totally forgot I also played Monster Hunter this month. I'm only bringing that up now because I think I feel about Nata in Monster Hunter the same way most people feel about Wuklammat, in that I really like Wuklammat and I'm happy with her, and most people that I know seem to like Nata, whereas I feel the exact opposite. Every single time Nata's on screen, I want him gone. I hate him. So like, I can at least relate to why people don't like Dawntrail as much, because that really does impact my enjoyment of Monster Hunter Wilds. I've also just finished the raid series today. I did the story yesterday, and I did the raid series today. Actually, before I get into it, I will say that I really enjoyed the bosses yesterday. Not the trial so much. The trial was fine, but I actually really enjoyed the bosses in the dungeon. I thought they were all really fun. The reason I mention that now is because I actually really enjoyed the raids for the most part. The last one wasn't the most fun, but it wasn't bad. I think the third one was a lot. It throws a lot at you. I can see how it's designed because each phase sort of teaches you a thing and then the next phase layers it on stuff. So there's like 3 phases to the fight, and each phase introduces a new mechanic while layering the old phase's stuff on top of it. And that was interesting. It took us a couple of tries to do that. It took us a couple of tries to do all of them, except I think the second one. I think the second one we got in one try. Don't remember wiping to that. One thing that did happen though, immediately after me finishing the second one, was that I had a power cut. So that was stressful, but it's not the end of the world, but it's just really annoying every time it happens. I think I've got a UPS, which I think what happens is when my computer tries to draw too much power, the UPS itself can't supply it and just cuts out. Because I've had actual power cuts, and my UPS has worked. What the UPS is supposed to do is when you have a power cut, it supplies the power. So I've had power cuts where my UPS has worked and I've been able to turn my computer off after we've had a power cut and then carry on as normal. When it's that way round, it works. The other way round, where my computer tries to draw too much power, the UPS itself cuts out. I think that's what's happening. It's really annoying. The first boss was cool. I liked his whole dancing mechanic. I thought the design was kind of terrifying, to be honest. The weird frog-rabbit mix. I liked it. Do you think the plan was always to bring Honeybee Lovely back so much, or do you think they brought her back because people like her so much? I did have some trouble reading her text because I was just singing along to the music, and it was distracting me from reading what she was saying, because her theme song plays the entire time she's on screen. I don't think any of the songs in this one were bad, but I don't think any of them were as strong as Honeybee Lovely's theme. I did quite like the second one. It was only today, but I don't remember the names at all. The one who paints things. I liked that song, but I don't like that song as much as I liked Honeybee Lovely's thing. I'm not sure, because I'll do them a few more times, so I'll have a better plan of it then, but I think I actually like them in order. I think I like them best in the 1, 2, 3, 4 order, of like, most to least. I was also like, pretty happy we get to keep the cats. I wish the cats had been a bigger deal. I was hoping we'd have the option to be like, who's going to look after your cats, to try and convince him to not use all the feral souls, but at least they stick around, and they end up living with you, don't they? I've got no real, like, expectations where everything's going to go from here, but I'm just excited to see it happen. But now I've got to wait like 4 months more for it to happen again, haven't we? Although we've got the moon comes out in a few weeks, and then the new tribe stuff. So just while I'm thinking about it, I'm not going to do like a patch week for 7.21, just because it is only one new thing, so I'll just do that as a normal stream. I will do a patch week for 7.25 though, because there's more content coming out that week. I think there's 3 new things coming out in 7.25, and only 1 new thing coming out in 7.21. So 7.21 I'll just do as a normal stream, 7.25 I'll do as patch week like I do this week. I wasn't actually planning on talking about this, but that's mostly just because I forgot, but I have been playing a lot of Wilds, like I mentioned before. I don't really like it, honestly. I just don't. I don't think the story's very good. I don't think it really makes any sense. It's not that there's like nothing happening, it's just that there's like huge gaps between the things that happen, and it feels like everything's rushed, but also that a lot of stuff is happening that I just am not aware of. It's not like I'm missing anything. We arrive in a town, and then we talk like 3 times, and then it's go and do 1 hunt, come back, and have 1 more conversation, and then you're pretty much done there. I know like nothing about the world. Some of it is just because I've spent more time there, just because I played it for a lot. I've already finished it and everything. But I understand the world in Rise so much more. Each area like gets its own hub, but it's only really like 3 things, and there's no real need to do any of them. There's your tent, where almost everything happens. There's Gemma, and there's your rations person, and that's like it in each one. And I feel nothing for the areas. And I don't like all of the quests, because I also feel like there's so few of them. It used to be that in Rise and in World, you would unlock a new area, and then like you'd get either a main quest or some like optional quests, which would be like just hunt a few bugs or something. And I always thought that was like a really good time, or like gathering mushrooms, just like random, normal, boring stuff. But the point was, I liked those quests because I would use that as an excuse to like go and explore the map, and I would do that every time, and I felt like I was doing stuff. I always felt like that was a good time to learn the maps. Whereas now I feel like I don't have any idea where anything is in any of the maps. I couldn't get around any of them if you wanted me to. Like, everything is just open the map up, choose a place for your secret to go, and press go, and then it just takes you there. So I have no understanding of where anything is in relation to one another. I also just like, I think the monsters are fine. I don't dislike any of the monsters. The only one I really don't like was Yu Wu, but that's not because I don't like them. It's because I don't like that you go into that fight immediately after another fight. I don't like the mission structure at all. I don't like that it isn't the old structure, basically. I just don't like the new structure. I am making simple mistakes that I shouldn't be making because I don't have the old structure to build around, essentially. I can't solidify this in my head. And it's also just like, everything just takes place in your tent. There's been multiple hunts where I've gone out, and partway through the hunt, my food's run out. And then I'm just like, oh, well, do I just try and finish the hunt now, or shall I go back to my tent and eat and then come back out again? And the hunts aren't usually that long, like maybe 10 minutes. So it's not usually worth going back to the tent, but I feel like I'm like always on the edge of dying because I didn't eat because I had 6 minutes left on my food. And is that going to be long enough for this quest, or is that not long enough? And if it's not long enough, should I eat now? And it's just like, back when it was just, you eat, go and do a hunt, then you eat again, I was fine with that. Whereas now it's like, you eat and then do hunts until your food runs out, and then come back. And I don't even really understand how to get food. Like, what are the rations? Like, I get rations because a guy gives me rations sometimes, but why can I not just pay someone to cook food for me? I understood that structure. Some of it is just me wanting the old stuff and not getting what I want out of it, but I don't know, I'm just not enjoying it. I know I'm not the only person who doesn't like that there's no canteen. I'm hoping with the new update, once they add the gathering hub that they're doing, I'm hoping that that is basically just going to remove all of my complaints, because that was just going to basically be the old structure. But my argument then is, well, why did you release it like this then? Because I don't really feel like anything is saying that this couldn't have happened earlier. What I mean is, like, in the world, there must be somewhere for everyone to eat. It can't be that every single person in your base is eating in their own tent. That just doesn't make sense. You're essentially the army, aren't you? They would set up a canteen. It just doesn't make sense to me that we're all just eating in our own tents. So this must exist in, like, terms of the world logic, but it just doesn't, and I don't get it. I don't feel like I'm explaining myself very well, but I don't really have this written out, so I'm just kind of like rambling to myself about the things I don't like. I usually, when I know I'm going to talk about a topic, I'll like write notes about what I want to say. I won't like do a full thing, but I'll like have at least, I want to hit these points, and then I'll just like talk and try and hit them, whereas this time I'm just like going off the top of my head the entire time. I mentioned it earlier, but I really don't like Nata. I just don't. Almost everything they say is so cringe. So like I don't want to listen to them talk at any point, but also like half the things they say don't even make sense. I don't really understand why they went from wanting to murder Arkveld to not wanting to. Nothing changed. They were like, we need to learn where this monster lives. They learn where the monster lives, and then they go, it's artificial life. He all of a sudden stops from, this thing was trying to kill all of us, I want revenge, to, no, I must protect it. And it's like, no, nothing changed. Right? It's still the same monster. It is still out of control, killing everything. Nothing's changed about it. There's no reason for you to feel any different about it. I think it tries to sort of say this whole, like, he's just like me sort of thing, in that Arkveld gets to choose for himself and Nata wants to choose for himself now. But that's not what's happening. At no point did Nata get to choose for themselves. They were sent off because they were trying to be the, like, survivor, basically, and then they ended up getting help. And they got help and came back with the intention of doing this one job, and then just at the end of it decided not to, and then you do it anyway. So what was the point? There's also the bit where he like starts a fight with a raid owl, and he just starts like throwing rocks at things, and it's just like, are you stupid? Like, I don't understand. Nata is just a plot device, but it's really annoying. And then there's that whole thing about like his rock is the only thing that can destroy the dragon, I don't remember. And then he just gets really sad, and then you just go, no, I'll just kill the monster anyway. And I was like, oh, it's supposed to play as this like emotional moment, but it just doesn't. It's a monster that we have never heard about before until literally the end of the last fight. We see it, and then we go to the thing with the intention of not fighting it, and then go, actually, no, I'm just going to fight it anyway. And then you beat it, and that's the end of the main bit of the story. It's like, oh, I don't get it. I feel like the story's just not very good, and I don't really like Nata, and I don't really understand why Gemma's with you. Like, I don't understand why she comes with you places. She doesn't do anything. Like, there is exactly one time I understand why she comes with you. So I kind of understand why she comes with you when you're moving between areas, because, you know, she's going to make your armor for you and stuff. But why did she come with me at all 2 hunts and then just immediately leave? Like, what's the point in that? I don't like that the Palicos can talk now, but at the same time, I have to have them talk because they'll say things while like a hunt is going on, and I can't read the subtitles while I'm paying attention to the monster, so I have to have them on. I don't know, I do not enjoy this anywhere near as much. I don't have the urge to play it. I've been going on a day and doing like a hunt or two, but I have no urge to play the game. I'm playing it because I want to finish it, but I'm not going to be really there for the end game grind or anything, because I just don't enjoy it enough to do that. Rise I played a lot of because I did the Let's Play of it, but I enjoyed it as well. I was getting tired of it by the end, mostly just because I'd been doing it so much. But this game I was just like, I started it and I was like, yeah, this is alright, and then it just never really got any better. So from Monday onwards, I am going to be going to 2 LPs at a time. I was originally going to start on the 1st of April, but then that would have meant starting on a Tuesday, and I was just like, I'll just start on the Monday. You know Yakuza 5 is starting, and then there's another one starting on Tuesday at normal times. The way it's going to work is my second LP is going to come out at the same time as they do now, so they're going to be 7 o'clock on a Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. The other LP is going to be every day except a Friday at 12, except when it's patch week. So basically, just anytime there's not a stream, there'll be an episode of Yakuza 5 coming out, and then when there's a stream, that'll take precedence, so there won't be Yakuza episodes that day. Pretty much just every Friday there won't be one, but also, I mentioned earlier that I won't be doing a patch week for 7.21, but when I do 7.25, there won't be Yakuza episodes that week, but that isn't going to happen until May. I am actually already recording the episodes for it for May. I've actually already finished my other LP for the evenings, so that's going to start on the 1st of April, and I think it ends on like the 3rd week of April. The one after that will either start the 1st week of May or the last week of April, don't remember which. But yeah, so I'll be doing 2 LPs a time, and then all my other videos will just happen as normal. I honestly thought there was going to be more to talk about here, but there actually isn't, is there? That's the major change. All my other content is staying the same as always, but we're now going to have pretty much 3 videos a day now. So it's a little bit more work for me. It's not a huge amount more work for me, and especially the further ahead I get in recording episodes of Yakuza 5, the less work for me is in like one go. It's mostly a problem when I'm recording 2 LPs at once, but that actually won't happen that frequently. As long as I keep choosing short games for my second LPs, it won't actually happen that regularly. So it's most of the time not really any different work. Still doing the project videos. I built another table. Next month's video might be building a 3rd table. Not actually decided yet. I don't really want to just keep building tables, but I also just keep needing tables, so I might have to. There's a lot of other work to be done on the house, which I could make videos about, but I don't know how interesting it all is. But then again, maybe it's more interesting than building a table for a 3rd time. Like, do you want to see me learn how to put up drywall? So, got it 2 LPs at a time. Podcast stays the same, sentences stay the same, impressions stay the same, project videos stay the same, half hours stay the same. Yeah, I was really expecting there was going to be a lot to talk about here, and there just isn't. Special thanks to all of my patrons. You can join them over at patreon.com/Holden Gatsby, and for $1 a month you'll get to see what I'm working on early and get exclusive roles in my Discord along with other rewards I might think of. You can also just follow me there if you want to for free, as it's probably the best place to see all of my content as soon as it's available. There's links to the Patreon along with my Discord, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, and all the other podcast platforms in the description for this episode. Finally, don't forget you can email me using podencastby@gmail.com if you've got anything you want to say. Thanks for sticking around. Bye. Special thanks to my patrons, Justin Wood, Hobbs, and Koopy Vegeta. You can join my patrons at patreon.com/Holden Gatsby, check out my TikTok and Twitter @Holden Gatsby, and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Holden Gatsby. Don't forget to subscribe to all of my channels. If you want more, you can watch my last video now, but if not, then thanks for sticking around. Bye.